R2-D2 was probably the most difficult voice to work on because it was the most abstract. Here we had supposedly a machine that was going to talk, it was going to act, it was going to draw on our emotions, it was going to be in scenes with Alec Guinness and work as another actor, yet it was a machine. It didn't have a face with a smile or a mouth or eyes or ears, and it couldn't speak English, and it couldn't even mouth words. At least Chewbacca could make kind of animal sounds which you could attribute a personality to. The initial experiments in coming up with R2's voice were all directed toward making a machine type of language, something that would come out of a computer, out of a robot. And although the voices were very interesting, I think, which I made, they all seemed to lack a sort of human quality. They seemed too machine-like. And R2 was not really just a machine. He was also this lovable little assistant robot. And it came about after trial and error and trying different sounds that one day I just started making the sounds. I said, well, maybe R2 should kind of sound like this. And you'd imitate a little baby sound, ooh, ah, you know, something like that. It's a sound you might have heard a little infant making when they were learning to talk. Communicating some kind of emotion, but not using well-formed English words. So the idea came up to really combine this sort of human sound with the electronic sound. That way we'd still might be able to have the character of a machine, but get the personality and the emotion of a living organism. So I learned to combine my voice with electronic sounds, which I would play on a keyboard of a synthesizer. And in combining the two, I was able to get a sense of performance out of the character, and to get some emotion into the sounds that R2 made, because you could put an inflection and intonation on the voice, and yet you were using non-word sounds to communicate. So it is just a process of trial and error of getting that, and it eventually just clicked in.